Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you guys how to make these super simple but yet so eye-catching wafer paper cornflowers. I had some in my garden and I wanted to give it a try. So I'm starting off with some pre-colored wafer paper. I already have a video on how to pre-color and condition your wafer paper. I will place it at the end of this video. To make the flower, I'm cutting a little piece of purple strip that's going to be the middle of the flower, and then for the edges, the outside petals, 2 small strips of blue wafer paper. Here I'm cutting little slits into this piece of wafer paper, not going all the way to the bottom, so not going all the way through, cutting it in half so it's more manageable for me to add onto the wire, misting it and then wrapping it onto the wire. For the second piece of the small purple wafer paper, I'm adding some little lines of brown and dark purple to the very edges and then frailing it up and adding it to the middle of this wafer paper flower. Here I'm adding some edible glue, but you could also just use water or the mister is fine. Now here is really up to you how full, how big you want the flower to be. If you want a very thick, full flower, then you will add a couple more layers of this same technique. But I wanted to make very small flowers, so I stop right there. To make the outer petal of this flower, I'm using my blue strips, folding them 4 times, and then cutting little petal-like shapes onto the strip, not going all the way to the bottom, so leaving a little section on the bottom without cutting. Now here I have 4 strips of paper. I'm going to count 5 little petals and then cut the rest of the strip. This is going to make it more manageable for me to work with the little piece of strip and then fold it into each other, misting the top petals so they furl up a little bit. And here we go. Here's my little section. I can add it now to the rest of my flower. To make the outer layer, I added around 7 to 8 of these sections of petals. Now here again is really up to you. If you want to make the flower look more full, then you will add a second layer of these petals. So instead of adding 7 to 8 petals, you will add 14 to 16 petals. But it's really up to you how you want the flower to look. I wanted small flowers, so I stopped right there. I continue by adding some florist tape to the wire. Now what to do with all these little pieces of wafer paper that are left over from all the cuttings that I did. What I like to do is I do not throw them away. I use these same colors to make buds for the flower arrangement I'm making. Here I'm making some pointed buds, so maybe like a flower that is just about to bloom. Here I'm using some green to make my leaves. I'm cutting off my leaf shapes and then using the extra scraps of the wafer paper that are left over to add some green to the bottom of the bud. So there's no waste here. I like to make a bunch of these buds in different sizes, some bigger than others. I like to make some that look like they're about to sprout, like I'm going to show you right now. And then just put them all together and it makes one full set of whatever flower arrangement you're making. I really enjoy making buds and little filler flowers because they're so simple and you're already using material that you already have, so you don't have to pre-color anything because you're using all the scraps of what you're already doing. So this is a great idea. You could also save them and add them later on to any arrangement that you're making, any flower, wafer paper flower that you're making. I like to do that. I like to make these ahead of time and just store them, and whenever I'm going to make something, I look for the colors and I add it to my arrangements. Now here I'm putting everything together. Finally, as I said, these flowers are very simple to make but very eye-catching. They're so pretty and I absolutely love how they came out. Don't forget to go check out my other videos. I have a couple of videos of wafer paper flowers that you guys could go check out. I'm going to place the video on how I color and condition my wafer paper, and thank you for watching.